So it's come to this, huh?
Let me just start off by saying my name is Zania and I've been playing D&D for about 3 years now. It gets a little bit confusing because the main campaign that I want to talk about today and that I've been a part of has been going on for a glorious 2 years. Woo! It sounds crazy, but considering how long it's been, I'm kind of sick of not talking about D&D, so I'm just going to talk about it as much as I want. College, over. Job,
Currently non-existent.
but still looking, I'm just saying. But without further ado, let's get into this story of two talls and two smalls. So this all started with our DM's PC, Victor. Which, let me clarify, we as players actually begged our DM to bring in because we saw the concept for him being a little adventurer and oh my god, we needed him. The sun was just starting to set and Victor was keeping an eye out on his surroundings. You know, like any good adventure book starts. But nothing could have prepared him for what fresh hell was about to pop out of the bushes. If anyone's there and you mean no harm, then please step into the light. Otherwise, I'll be forced to assume ill intent. What the fuck? Okay, here's the thing. My character was sort of starving at the roadside when he saw that sword a mile away, so my little genius kind of grabbed his dog and went,
No harm, no harm. I'm just a big silly dog. You wouldn't come after such a cute face, right? I mean, woof.
Shockingly enough, this actually worked for a little while, and Victor was kind of vibing with it until he saw those little green hands. So he calls it out like,
You got a little magical schmutz right there.
magical?
Magical? I come to you as you ask, and you make fun of my face? I can't help the way I was born. That's cruel, sir. I fell for that a bit too long, didn't I? Step into the light, friend. I mean you no harm.
After a little silence and a look between man and dog, my PC manages to step out and reveal the one, the only, Snap the Shin Cracker. The middle-aged, homeless goblin in a robe littered with hand-sewn moons and stars, alongside his trusty and drooling steed, Cecilia. He reveals that he is a fierce and powerful wizard, threatening to zap him into little bits if he so much as gets in their way. And Victor, dear, sweet Victor, is just like...
Hi, Snap. It's my pleasure.
Just then, from the bushes, two humanoids emerge, and Victor is quick to jump on the defensive. And here's where Mr. Shincracker stares to see not only a towering golden dragonborn, but what he perceives as the biggest dog he's ever seen, growling down at the two of them.
You friends? I don't know, are you?
So, on the sidelines, these two have been walking for a few days together, and they saw Victor's fire down the road. Our big fluffy friend wanted to check it out directly instead of hanging back to, survey from a safe distance, away from possible danger, and this is where the fun began. And let me tell you, I have no shame in admitting that Snap wanted to bail as soon as this campsite got overcrowded. But since everyone besides Victor wanted to head to the closest town, it automatically meant that we were all on the road to Blackwood, where Victor was hired to investigate a few rumors that came from his last town. It started with a woman looking for her husband, who apparently rushed off to Blackwood to see his brother. Victor was on his way to go find him when he found both the man and his horse dead on the roadside. So, needless to say, I think he needed a little help here. Sounds to me like you've got quite the job ahead of yourself, little paladin. You're likely going to be dealing with more than you signed up for, if whatever this thing is has the village in its grip already.
Killing for fun. Not good. He got torn to shreds? Ugh, some loonies probably had a personal grudge and went after him himself. Don't know why you're so eager to go by yourself, though. Not unless you got something powerful up your sleeve.
But that's the thing. Victor starts going off and saying that he needs some help to get to the bottom of this. After all, we seem like we're competent and powerful people, right? And when Snap hears this, all he hears is a challenge. Immediately starts going off about how powerful he is, but needing just a little motivation to get going with the others, who have already agreed to go.
Great and powerful, at your service.
So the team starts going around and introducing themselves, which brings us to Victor, the optimistic kobold paladin. Visera, the brooding dragonborn / very obvious looking barbarian.
She refused to share with us.
Flea, the flea. Yeah, on this one she didn't really know her name, but she introduced herself as a shifter. And finally, Snap the Shin Cracker, wizard extraordinaire.
You'll understand soon, I promise.
Visera went off to go, yell whisper at Flea as you do, and meanwhile Popper and Victor were just kinda...
Will you cut that out?
And Night Watch is evenly divided by height.
So, been on the road long together?
No, and I don't get chummy.
Oh, totally cool. Respect it. It's usually just me and Seely, so, Anything on your side yet?
No, but then again I'm actually focusing.
What? I'm focusing too! The bushes are just super tall.
Ah yes, shrubbery is quite the blinding wall.
Tall people suck.
So, I take it you and your companion have been traveling for a while?
Flea bad.
What?
Flea lie.
It's okay, I figured it's
Flea kind, no welcome.
Whoa, I won't tell, it's okay. As the party packs up from breakfast, there's a little friendliness to be spared. Sharing rations, talking over plans, even Flea makes an effort to remember classes and names. And there's the problem. Flea was the one doing the studying.
Snap wizard, yes? Huh?
Okay, so that was an itty-bitty, teeny little lie. Vasira and Victor put an end to the yelling, and we ride back to Blackwood, where Snap reveals the truth. My baby boy is not a great nor powerful wizard. I'd like to introduce you all to Popper, the goblin cleric. And from here, everyone fesses up. Flea even admits to being a werewolf, which Popper responds very gracefully to, mind you.
You lying sack of shit. That's even worse than my lie. Like, I get it since people always want to kill me, but what the fuck?
Werewolves hunted.
Goblins punted.
Hey, you guys want to see this cool tooth I won after I killed a demon? Wait, what? Flea turns into a wolf, and continuing on, the forest gave way to farmland and tall crops. The sound of crows echoing in the air as we went through. Woo! Popper kept noticing, those really creepy old scarecrows, the ones that just stare into the abyss. You wonder for a second, what have you seen? Anyway, Popper tried to call attention to it, but Victor was like, it's just called a scarecrow, little buddy. It's all good. And before anybody has the right to, justifiably smack somebody, something weird pops out of the ground. I welcome you to one of the best places in the entire game. The one, the only, Magic Shack. Shabby and super dusty on the outside, but as soon as you get in, it's a beautiful sight of fine red silks hanging above, magical artifacts, and strangely enough, a peculiar-looking human. Oh, wow, you guys are here earlier than I expected. Welcome to the Magic Shack, where you could buy your wildest dreams for a bit of coin and all that good stuff.
I like your words, funny magic man.
So the human behind the counter introduces himself as Daniel, but insists that we're now pals and we call him Danny. Vasira basically declares herself the leader in that moment and is like, no, we are not adventurers nor are we friends. Which then cues Danny to make the biggest mistake he can in this entire campaign. You want a discount? You look like you like discounts. Friend discount? Free discount on anything you pick. I mean, look at all this cool shit I got. You want some of it? I'll let you pick one, whatever one you want. A free deal as long as you promise to come back. Everyone gets to pick one item that Danny lays out individually for each of us. He dubs Fleet Dog, which he totally sees past, but we love Danny because he rolls with everything. And she gets Adorable Arrow. Popper's the next to approach the counter. And from the pile, he ends up picking this magic key. It's supposed to open any door or lock that you see as long as it hits a certain percentile. It's fun, it's easy to use, it should be fine, right? Vasira gets some limited edition Critical Role night vision goggles for her baby eyes, and Victor gets a little wand with a smiley face. Just make sure to come back with money. Also tell your friends about our excellent customer service, preferably the ones who also have money. Vasira takes a little time to ask him if anything suspicious has happened in town, but with how bad business has been for his specialty shop, he only really hears whispers here and there. Danny does remember someone mentioning a bad seed got hung about a month ago, but that's all he can recall. We thank him, but Popper does the first thing to set their friendship in motion. With the 1 coin Victor gave him, he places it right down on the counter and smiles at his new friend.
Here, for the promise of better trinkets in the future. Can't have your business going belly up on us before we get that next deal, huh?
And with that one act of kindness, the starving goblin leaves, leaving Danny staring at the gold for a long time with an exhausted smile. After that, nothing really eventful happens. I mean, Victor does do this, which leads to 2 things. 1, Victor admitting that he always tries to put his best foot forward and tends to fumble whenever he does a good deed. And Vasira doesn't take too kindly to it, saying that perhaps he'd mess up less if he didn't try appeasing people he knew nothing about, that surely he would have less disappointment in his life if he just did that more.
I promise she's not a dick, but that quote still haunts my dreams.
And it's at this moment that Flea and Popper look to each other and put aside their differences. Victor's a nice enough kobold, and he didn't really deserve to be put down like that. Flea even lets the little guy ride on her back, which is so cute. Look at him go. Look at him. And off our party goes. Not the best of friends yet, but perhaps building to something like that. and all under the hidden, watchful eye of the one we would come to fight.